That's what you said. You pressed record. Never
Yeah,
mind.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, good job, buddy.
Yeah, that's my job.
Okay. Okay. It's only duty. Welcome back to Dynamic Trio Pod. This is James.
This is Alex.
This is Patrick.
And today we are doing a live reaction to Two
This is
Girls, One
Alex.
Cup.
What?
Are you guys ready?
We're doing a live reaction to Two Girls and One Cup.
You guys ever seen it?
No, actually.
No.
No. I'm not shocked by that at all. I would never seek that out.
I'd
Never.
never see it. I'd never see it. I would never do it.
For
No.
the longest time, I actually thought it was like an urban legend.
Me too.
Yeah, I truly thought it was just like some made up thing.
Turns out I was wrong.
And it's very real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a thumbnail and I was like, okay, this exists. I don't need to know.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Now, the real reason. Today we are talking about the...
Speaking of things that are wrong,
Yeah.
Oh. Good job interrupting me for that. We are talking about the P. Diddy, Mr. Combs trial going on right now.
Yep.
Now, keep in mind, listener, there is so much going on. And to be honest, even though a lot of information has come out, it's still early.
Yep.
It is still early on in the trial. They're still setting up. I believe they're still trying to paint the character of who he was.
Mhm.
And before they get into the damning evidence that will, decide his
hopefully,
fate.
put him away.
Yeah, because he's claiming not guilty.
Yep.
Yeah, because of course he is.
Well, if you guys don't know, right now, the charges that are being he's facing right now, Mr. Combs, is
Sex
facing...
trafficking,
Well, can I finish my sentence?
racketeering.
He's facing multiple federal charges, including 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Not gonna lie, I thought there'd be more.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that I heard that the prosecution kind of threw this together kind of fast. And I've heard that when it comes to like racketeering, it's so hard and complicated to like
Yes.
get through and get evidence for
Mhm.
that you need to take a long time to build a case.
Yeah.
Well-
And that if you don't do it right, they can just be like, you got nothing on me.
Well, keep in
I'm
mind.
walking.
Well, keep in mind that racketeering is normally they save those kinds of charges for people who have like an entire network of illegal businesses going down, right?
Yeah.
I believe what they're trying to do is basically say that Mr. Combs is created that network
Mhm.
essentially, and that's how they're going to get him on racketeering. Because again, it's not usually done to one person; it's done to a group or a network of illegal businesses.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But so far, I've been listening to this one podcast.
Shout out Ron and Mango, Stephanie Sue,
Yeah.
Rotten mangoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ron and Mango.
Where can we find them?
On anything where they have podcasts.
Sick.
Fine, I'll do the whole thing. You can listen to Ron and Mango's podcast by Stephanie Sue on Spotify or anywhere where podcasts are listened to. And she also does the visual version on YouTube. So if you guys can't, go search her up on YouTube.
Wow, this guy's a little bit of a professional.
This guy right
I'm just a really big fan of her.
Really?
I love Stephanie Sue.
Yeah, because she's like in the courtroom every day, right?
Yes.
Yes, so she is actually in there. She's been I believe she's been there the entire trial. Just take a note.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys want to hear something crazy about this so far?
Hmm.
Sure.
She has claimed in one of her recent videos that P. Diddy, what he would do is, I believe he's been, how do you say this? He's been told not to do this several times now, but to not address the press.
Yeah.
Right. And I believe one of these, normally he would look at the press and just kind of nod his head down and move on with his life, He acknowledges certain people in the court.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what she is saying is that P. Diddy looked at her general direction and mouthed.
You mouth out the words, "I know you."
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Twice.
Yeah, and I found out about this over TikTok, as I find all my news.
Yep.
And as a Gen Z, y'all.
Mhm.
And right now, a lot of people on TikTok are basically going on like we gotta protect Stephanie,
Yeah.
Stephanie at all costs. If something happens to her,
Don't believe the suicide note.
don't believe the suicide note. Obviously, don't believe the surface. Basically,
Yeah.
and it makes sense too, because if you think about it, Stephanie Sue is laying it out for the younger generation.
She's straight up in there. It's her, and she has 2 researchers.
Yep.
And
at the end of every single court session, they go and they meet together and they go over everything that was said, because they get given like the transcript of everything that was said in the court.
That's crazy.
And then they take down notes about facial expressions, how people like look and stuff, because there's no cameras allowed in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes they do that.
Yeah. So it is not crazy to believe that maybe his defense or people around him are telling him like, hey, by the way, this person is really giving all your details, very specific details, and she is hitting the younger generation. And she's so popular.
Yeah.
She's so popular. And especially right now, covering this case the way she's doing, she deserves all her flowers right now.
Yeah.
She is doing tremendous amount of work, and I love her.
Yeah, she's freaking great.
And her,
she
and her vlogs are amazing.
does vlogs too.
Yeah, I love her husband. She never shows her husband.
Yeah.
He does not go on camera.
Yeah.
I forgot what. I'm so. Oh, now I sound like a fake fan. Oh, what's his name again?
That's the worst thing in the
I'm
world
gonna
you
get
can be.
Steven.
No, it's not a name. Like he just goes. He kind of goes off like it's a panda. Like they put a panda emoji over him all the time.
Oh really?
I think they call him Mr. Mango Butt.
Mango Butt.
Yeah,
Oh nice.
Oh, that's so
because
cute.
her channel was like Miss Mango Butt.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
That's
Mango
funny.
Butt?
Mm-hmm. Her not the
Talking to the
podcast.
mic, man.
It's like Mango Butt?
Yeah, not the podcast. You just gotta be. You gotta know her, okay?
Okay.
You don't know her like I do.
I'll look her up on YouTube, okay? Because I don't have TikTok.
I don't think you'd like her vlogs like I do.
And like, because like, you know, that whole, because I'm thinking about like that whole like I know you thing. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
clearly it's an intimidation tact.
Yeah.
But like, does it
Exactly.
even have any merit?
What do you
Maybe.
mean?
Because here's the thing, like, yes, obviously he hurts people, like
Yeah.
really hurts people, but
And that's putting it softly.
Allegedly, guys.
but
'Cause
I
I'm
don't
scared.
think, I truly don't think he's actually killed anybody. He definitely puts out hit. Okay, he definitely probably killed Tupac. He put out the hit
Excuse me?
Allegedly.
allegedly.
What?
You didn't know about this? Yeah,
Really?
He allegedly.
Okay,
and
I don't like the way you guys all act like you know everything. Okay, don't act like you guys. Don't act like you're in the courtroom. Don't act like you guys are doing Stephanie's work.
No, this wasn't said in the courtroom. This was said like maybe like a year ago.
Yeah, there's like more and more evidence coming out about it, and it's just because like like it was during like that '90s hip hop rap scene.
Yeah.
he was very much part of it. He was already a fucking criminal back then, and he was in a room full of a bunch of hardcore gangsters. And you know, Tupac was causing some issues, so he just kind of said out loud to the room like, he like threw down like something like, can somebody kill this guy?
Yeah.
and it was like, I'll pay you X amount of money or something like
Yeah.
that. And then that guy went and did it. But
Apparently, there's also a rumor that J-Lo is in on the cover up as well.
J Lo.
Yeah.
J-Lo. Yeah,
They
I don't
dated
know.
for a
She
bit.
just has to be in everything, huh?
Honestly, yeah.
Interesting.
But like the whole I know you thing, like, is it actually a legitimate threat, or is it here's a woman I can scare?
Oh,
Maybe.
Because it's like clearly that he needs that to exist. Here's just like I'm not around any women that I can control and manipulate and abuse. Here's one. I'm just gonna do that and just scare the hell out of her. Is it a legit threat, or is it just he needs this to feel in control of something?
I see where you get that, but I also think that it's part of, I think it is like a threat, because she's talked about how it's weird outside of the courtroom. Like there are people that will like approach her and they'll just like the very first thing they ask her is like, where are you staying? Like what hotel are you in? And it's just really straight to the point. And she'll like talk about how she's talked to other people that are on the press and they'll ask her, but like, you know, because they've built like
A
you know,
rapport?
yeah, between themselves. And so she'll tell them, you know, because like she'll talk to them like amongst like her friends, because it's like, yeah, we're all peers, but there would be random people that will like ask her outside. And then she even said that there was a moment where she went to the bathroom and one guy asked her researcher and was just like, hey, where is she staying? So it's like it might have been targeted.
Yeah, that's bad. She should definitely protect herself. She should definitely be careful. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so I don't know what else you guys know about like the P. Diddy case that's happening right now.
I know there's a lot of testimony going on right now.
Yeah.
One of those testimony involved talking about the freak offs.
Yes.
That is insane.
Mhm.
I think Patrick knows a little bit more about this than I do, because apparently he reads or something and he makes fun of me for not being able to read. I know this is a P. Diddy episode, but I also feel like I should stand up for myself sometimes.
Or just pick a fight out of nowhere.
I'm not picking a fight.
If that's
I'm
what
not-
you think defending yourself
If
means.
you think that me standing up for myself is picking a fight, then I
Ooh.
guess I should beat your ass.
Gaslighter.
Oh,
Hey,
is
I'm not the
laughing you're
one-
coping?
I'm not the one on trial here.
What do you know about the freak offs?
Like he's on trial.
Like I heard somebody, Henry Zabrowski on last podcast on the left, because he was talking about it for a little bit, just to give a shout out to a really good podcast.
Radamango.
Because
The basement yard.
are the basement you're talking about it?
No, I just wanted to shout out a podcast. That was good too.
That's also a really good one. I'm gonna see them live in a couple months.
Dropouts.
They're all right.
They're no.
Go on.
But Henry Zabrowski on last podcast on the left said that because he's watching it, because you can watch it on live stream.
You can't.
Well, he is.
What the hell?
Apparently,
There's no cameras.
He's talking about it. I don't know, but he said that while he's watching it and he's listening to the people of like the witness testimony, he said that you're constantly asking yourself this question of where's the line between victim and co-conspirator, because that's how it
Yes.
sounds like Diddy would kind of operate. Is that like he would force you to be a part of it and get these incriminating stuff on you, like of footage of you doing messed up stuff, things you didn't really consent to because you were also drugged or whatever the hell. And then he would somehow make you be like an arbiter of this stuff, like where you would take part in it and then bring more people in, and it's like that's what makes this so creepy. And
When he's talking about, is he talking about the trial?
yeah, he was talking about the trial where he was just kind of like, yeah, because you're listening to these people give their testimonies and like, they all seem to apparently start off as like, yeah, no, like I was a victim, but then eventually they kind of like would help him out kind of, because he had evidence and he had dirt on them, and that's what makes it so hard. And like Diddy probably did that he did that for sure on purpose. So that way it's like you are in bed with me in more ways than one,
J. King News brought up an interesting point on this, and I know that discredits me immediately, but they don't have the best takes ever. But I'm a fan. Anyways, they did bring up a point of how do we differentiate the people who were victims of this and became co-conspirators, because at the end of the day, they are still victims in some way or
they
another.
were, yes.
Right? And then people who knew about what was going on, but they just wanted in. So it's going to be a very tough trial. And I really believe that as the time goes, once they're done painting him, as the bad person he is, which they're not really painting, they're just showing.
Yeah, it's undeniable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be damning evidence. And I think there's going to be some very interesting people who are going to come out to talk about this. Because I believe there's people who are going against him who are in his circle, no? Isn't that what's going on?
I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up with the trial.
I know like his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
Yes.
So she's basically the one that's filed this, I believe, like the whole thing, because her whole thing is that she was involved in the freak offs when she didn't want to be.
Yeah.
And what the defendant is basically doing is pointing out that like she is a full-grown woman, that she's capable of making her own decisions. So for her to be involved in the freak off is her own doing. Mm-hmm. They're painting that type of picture, but the whole time that they're explaining that side of it, they like you can tell that the jury's like not buying it, because it's just like that's so stereotypical, like trying to blame like the victim and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, like they're trying to make her out to seem like she's like this sex crazed person that was involved in it and actually wanted it, and they're completely ignoring like the fact that there's a power dynamic there. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of heartbreaking to watch.
Is she the one who was in the video footage of
the hotel?
The hotel?
Yeah.
Was it her? Yeah.
She's
was
the
her?
one who was dragged around. Because during this trial, there's been so many instances of domestic abuse.
Yes.
And it's like at this point, they know that he's abusive.
Yeah.
But the sad part is that he's not on trial for it. So there's no, he's not going to face any type of penalty for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you guys know that from the hotel video footage, there's a former security guard that testified that Combs offered him $100,000 to bury the hotel video footage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was bribing people left and right for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that he also, the other people stepped forward, just been like, he also bribed me. Yeah. Like he was like, I think the guy even said that he was just so nonchalant. He literally just took it and was like, how much?
He pulled out like a stack.
Yes.
And he was just like, here. He just
Yeah.
hands it to him.
Yeah. And he was just like,
Wow.
make it go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is clearly how he operates, and he's
Yeah.
used to getting his way.
Yeah.
So like this, it's so messed up.
He just has money to throw at problems.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it begs the question too of like, what is this guy's fucking problem? No, but like, let's be a little real here. Like why? Why is he this way? Like, I truly believe monsters exist,
Yeah.
but why?
Yeah.
What is going on here? I mean, Cat Williams was one of the people who really sparked this off years ago, right? Who he kind of came out and
I
said
heard
a lot
about
of-
this, but I had no idea. Like, I've heard it vaguely. I'm not entirely sure what he actually said.
Cat Williams is an interesting person because like he himself
and funny comedian.
He is very funny. But like he's also just like such a mess
Yeah.
in his personal life that it was
Yes.
so hard for a lot of people to take him seriously when he was talking about very, very real things.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always just about like he comments on society.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good commentator. And, you know, he would talk vaguely about, honestly, sometimes not even vaguely. Sometimes he would just outright just say certain stuff.
Yeah.
And
He
then
said
people,
something about Kevin Hart and like doing stuff to like a guy or something.
you know what, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I've heard about that one.
But I wouldn't accuse Kevin of that. Kevin's really cool.
I'm not.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I
Yeah.
just don't want to put things out that might not be true.
Yeah.
He did say that Kevin Hart was a plant. I know he did say that.
He has said
that he was an
yes.
industry plant. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. But then there was other stuff. But yeah, like he probably alluded to it and then people would just be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Goodbye to the funny.
Yeah. Tell a joke.
Yeah, tell a joke.
Well, I mean, now we know who was he? He was on Ellen. P Diddy. P Diddy was on Ellen doing an interview with someone. Was it French Montana?
I don't know actually.
I hope.
God, the image of him being on that set, that's just weird to me.
Well, I guess, you know, there's a lot of videos resurfacing now of people being like, you know, it's like, I was like, oh, look at how weird people are acting around Diddy and the all these things. And I guess I got to double check if it was French Montana or not. But the point is, during the interview, that, you know, Ellen asked, is like, how did this relationship start? Like, you know, how did you guys get so close or whatever. And I guess he just grabbed his thigh and he was just like, it started out love.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. And it just it's in, I guess, French. If it's, I hope it's French Montana because I keep saying his name. But I guess he was just very uncomfortable with that thing or whatever.
I
Yeah.
remember there was a segment where he was
Hey
on
man,
the-
your mic.
I remember there was one that I saw of him on the Wendy Williams show.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh.
before she like stopped doing the show, where she was a guest, he was a guest, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I was just backstage. I was hanging out with your son."
Oh yeah.
And
And
she
then her
just-
face was just like,
She
what?
froze.
Yeah.
She froze, and she was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, he seems like a cool kid."
Yeah.
Like, Wendy Williams was already kind of like a weird person.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and it's not to like. But if there was something, it really just speaks to like it was kind of an open secret then,
Yeah.
like what
Yes.
he does,
Mm-hmm.
and he had everybody in a grip.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I saw that, and if it really was what we all think it was, which might have been,
Mm-hmm.
that's terrifying.
Well, again, Jake, like I said, Jakey News is talking about this a lot lately. And one of the things they mentioned, and it's true now, it's like if you had said something about like, look at these weird videos of P Diddy acting like this, or that video of Justin Bieber when he was with them and things like that.
Like
All
an
these
entire
weird
day.
videos.
Like an entire day, yeah.
Yeah, all these weird videos that come out, people would be like, you're fishing. Now
Yeah.
you're pushing too hard, right?
Mhm.
But now with everything coming out and all these more and more evidence coming out and people of fame coming out and speaking out on this,
Yeah.
it's very clear that no, I think this is one of those times where we're not all fishing. We're not all trying to make a conspiracy out of this. I think it's very clear that there was something going on. And like you said, it was probably an open secret. And I mean, who knows how many famous people are really going to come out and say anything about this? No one's out here defending them. No one's out here. No one's out here gonna. They're not going to either way. But there's no one out here defending him, and there's no one out here that's like, oh yeah, I'm a victim of this too. Because for all we know, they could be co-conspirators as well.
It's like the same thing with Harvey Weinstein, where it was like everybody would make jokes about him and stuff, and everyone's like kind of like ha 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 because they all have an idea or no.
Yeah.
And I feel like that same thing applies with Diddy, because it's like, yeah, all of these people, you kind of see hints of this, hints of that, and it's like, oh, all of these people just know about it.
Yeah. It was like, let's go to this white party. Like, sure, have you heard the rumors about what he might get up to?
Yeah.
Just like, just don't stay.
Yeah.
Just network.
Yeah.
Meet that producer you want to produce and just get out before 9.
Yeah.
You know?
Which people are saying that they would left before all that stuff happened, but it's like,
Exactly.
But here's the thing. I do kind of want to believe that, like, sometimes you just don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of, I don't know. Maybe that's like a weird part of me where it's just like so many people go to these things. I don't know.
It's weird though, because in the trial they don't talk about those, or at least like where I'm at, they haven't talked about them yet.
About what?
About the white parties and stuff like that.
What is that? I'm a little lost now.
He would have like these big parties that were just where everyone wore white.
Yeah.
And at the end of them,
It always took place at like his house.
yeah, at his house, and he had them a lot.
Yeah.
He would always have parties at his house. Some of them were the white parties. They would be like these big sort of gala events,
Mhm.
from what I understand. And then typically or usually they would end in a freak off
Yeah.
after, certain people. And like I saw a quote from somebody saying that like, oh, you knew it was about to happen when a bunch of the women just started undressing.
Yeah.
And then that's when if you were down, you stayed, and if you weren't, you just dipped. So it was just like a thing.
But like basically like what the trial has been talking about is just like him and Cassie, and it was just like apparently he would set her up and be like, you're gonna have sex with this one escort, and he apparently had a roster,
Yeah.
but for her.
Yeah. Because he was really into that.
Yeah.
And so
like
she
his whole
was-
thing was like he would watch in the corner,
Yeah, and tell him what to do and stuff.
Yeah.
And that she was doing this every week, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like they would just get a lot of baby oil. That's where like all like that meme stuff came about, like the baby oil and all that.
Which I have heard like that whole, because there was like that rumor where that the baby oil was drugged.
That's what.
Oh.
There's a rumor about that in the trial. It just says that it's basically just lube.
Yeah. I heard that it was like, no, it was just straight up lube.
Yeah.
Just an insane amount of lube.
Yeah. Because like his whole thing was like apparently he would be like, no, more, and it was just like he just wanted a bunch of lube.
So that was his thing, I guess.
And the thing is like she would also be drugged apparently too.
Yeah.
That would make sense, yeah.
And then like even afterwards, Sean would hang out with her and they would do drugs together.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the whole thing's like really, really fucked up.
Now I'm wondering one thing though. Now, before I get to that point, do you guys see 50 Cent?
No,
He
but
made an AI thing, right?
Did he? I didn't know about that.
Oh, he's made some AI stuff.
He's out there saying, lock him up.
Yeah.
Lock this
he
guy
is
up.
so against them.
He's been a hater of P. Diddy.
Yeah.
50 Cent is a hero.
Yeah.
But he's also the funniest guy ever. Like that whole Ja Rule thing where he bought out his concert so no one would go or something.
Oh, yeah.
He did that?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
50
Yeah.
Cent is hilarious.
Number one hater.
Number one hater.
Yeah.
Fucking love it. But for the right reasons usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on his side. For
And he's
whatever it
got
is.
money to like fucking do like whatever you want,
Just
basically.
burn.
Yeah.
He can burn it. But anyways, now I'm wondering, more importantly, there's a lot of famous people who have said they go to P. Diddy parties or they've gone and they've been accused and they have no choice of being like, yeah, I've been, but I've never been there when the weird stuff go, whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if people are terrified of P. Diddy taking the stand.
Ooh.
There's no way he's going to.
What?
There's no way he's going to, because it's
Doesn't
like
he have to?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
No. From what I understand, any basic attorney is like, that's like a number one rule I've heard, is that like you never put the defendant on the stand because a fucking law student can tear them apart. So no, I don't think he's ever going to take the stand.
What do you mean by that? A law student could tear them apart?
Because like they train you on how to pick apart somebody's argument, pick apart what they're saying, and that like the most basic law student could be able to do it, and that's why you should never put a defendant on the stand. It's just like it's suicide.
Oh, so you're saying that his defense won't let him take the stand?
Never. His
But-
lawyer will do all the talking,
Oh,
all the
So far it's
talking,
been
all
like
the
that.
spinning. Yeah.
So you think good?
Because you're risking incriminating yourself
Yeah.
like crazy.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, you think that if P. Diddy gets to a point where he feels like all is lost and it's heading in one direction, do you think he will take the stand and burn people down with him?
I've heard that he's a crash out, and I don't even want to say crash out because crash out's like funny.
Yeah.
But like I heard he has a temper,
Yeah, he does.
and clearly he has an ego, and clearly he's a control freak.
Yeah.
I can see him maybe instead just burning through defense lawyers. Like,
Can you do that?
you can fire a lawyer.
Yeah,
and
you can
bring
do a
on new ones.
mid-trial. Did Amber Heard do
Mid-trial?
that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I think so. And yeah,
He might, because from what I've heard, there are moments where he's just like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah, like he's
his
losing.
his facial expression is just kind of like, "Bro, what are you saying right now?" Like,
Yeah.
"Yo, say something,"
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can see him
Yeah.
just burning through lawyers.
He's upset. He's like, say something. Yeah, but I'm sure his defense already knows, like, hey, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
And if we cause too much commotion, they'll stop us from. We lose credibility.
Yeah.
How long until he becomes his own lawyer?
That'd be funny.
That would be funny. We would literally watch him just burn himself.
I just don't. Okay, my thing is this: if he goes down, which it's all looking like it. I mean, I'm a little torn here because I mentioned this on the pod, and we'll get into this later. We'll probably have to do a part 2 on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
There-
trial's gonna be long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a person on who took the stand by the name of Jane.
Probably like a Jane Doe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Jane Doe. Yeah, or they actually might be a Jane. Don't be dumb.
Oh my god. Is this you defending yourself again?
Something just came up on my phone from TMZ that basically said that she ruined something.
She ruined something.
Something with her testimony recently, or by taking the stand.
Oh, maybe.
Which I guess goes to your point of like taking the stand might not always be the best choice because people can take apart your argument,
Yeah.
destroy you.
You
whatever.
can contradict yourself.
Yeah.
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 Which is the last thing you want.
Yeah, and wow, I held that really well. Anyways, yeah, but the most recent headline so far with the T Diddy
The T Diddy.
P Diddy trial is that ex-girlfriend Jane testifies on trip with another rapper, fight with Sean Combs. I don't know when we'll get to. I don't know where this trial goes. What do you guys? You guys maybe know more about anything. Period. But what do you guys think? Where does this trial go? Let's say everyone paints exactly what he is, the monster he is. Where does this trial end up at? Maybe do you guys think it exposes the network? Because I don't believe that he is the only person involved in this with some kind of power. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It'd be ridiculous of one man to be controlling all these things. Because essentially, you're basically saying he controls maybe music. He controls maybe Hollywood. Obviously, I'm not stating he does either of those things, but I'm saying you're basically saying this one person has all this power. So do you guys think that they're going to try and publicize his entire network that he's created? Or what do you guys think?
I think it's gonna go to a mistrial. I
I'm
think
a
they're
little
gonna
worried
try
about that
really
too.
hard for it to be a mistrial.
Yeah, I think because it's like somebody brought up like they threw this thing together too fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
To really get everything together, and the charges, like maybe they'll get him for domestic abuse, but what's that, 10, 20 years?
Probably not even
like 5.
a restraining order.
Maybe.
They might. Yeah, I would say they're going to talk him down. Also, I believe the person in the hotel footage,
The woman?
the woman who he attacked, I thought that was already settled privately.
I don't know actually. That does sound right.
That actually does sound right, that they might have settled
It did spark this entire thing.
Yes.
Oh
But it
yeah, I think she got $12 million for that.
Yeah, to like basically keep quiet.
No, like
we'll just
in
shut
the-
it down.
And damages?
Yeah,
Okay.
But it was settled privately, basically.
and I think it was from the hotel.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
We honestly should have done more research.
No, I know this.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
was from the hotel.
You don't trust her reporting again, huh? God.
Yeah, it was 12 million from the hotel because they kept it a secret because they had the cameras.
Well, wait. So the guy did basically take the bribe.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't
No, he said no, but apparently the footage was still like scrapped or some shit like that. I don't know.
But hey, it's out there now.
Yeah, and
Wait, shouldn't the hotel shouldn't we burn that hotel down? Like, I'm just saying, like, shouldn't they be on trial too?
honestly, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because if they're willing to keep a secret for someone like him, you know for a fact that they've been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Who knows what other secrets they keep and how much they just get paid for it.
We're scaring the listener. We're scaring the listener.
They can be scared. They should be scared. There are monsters out there. I think and I'll leave it at this. I think that if you ever get invited to a party and it's weird, you ever meet someone who's very rich
Ugh.
and they promise you things, but then immediately they want you to do some kind of sexual activity right after you sign a record deal,
No.
I think it's very fair to say, run.
They're actually using that as like an argument too about how basically Cassie was successful when she was under him, like during like under his record label and stuff like that.
Okay.
And the reason why she's even filing for all this is because she had been dropped and her career isn't doing as good. So they're saying that she's just looking for like a payday, and that's why she's doing all this.
Okay. No, that's the stupidest argument I've ever heard. There's so much other evidence besides Cassie.
Yeah, but then like they've questioned them and they found not loopholes, holes in like their stories and stuff, and they're like exploiting that and being like, the reason why you're probably also doing this is for money as well. And that's been like a whole thing, because it's like, yeah, he has power, he has money, so you guys are just here to exploit that.
So essentially, the defense is going to double down. So like, yeah, you're right. He does have power over you. He does have money over you. And that's why you're doing this, to take advantage of my client.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. So basically, every single person who comes up to testify, they're going to pick them down one by one and just break down their entire argument until no one's left that can really put them out for these things, unless someone of big fame or publicity is willing to speak out on this.
Yeah.
And nobody will.
Yeah.
Nobody will. And sacrifice. They're going to be a lamb. They're going to be a sacrificial lamb, because you know for a fact that if they're not speaking out, it's for a reason. Either there's something on them, or they were co-conspirators to some extent.
And like that has been like a thing too, where like they'll ask like, then how come you never said something when you saw something or whatever? And then they'll be like, well, because we're afraid of him. And it's like, why are you afraid of him? Because he's violent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like,
because he killed Tupac.
Yeah. they have like slowly hinted at that for like a while too, that he's harmed people in that way. And actually there was a moment where his lawyer was like, no, we need a sidebar. And they went to the sidebar and they talked about certain things, and it's like, he can't ask these questions because it's going to lead to them saying that he had people killed. And like, in a way, he kind of admitted that P. Diddy had people killed,
but
it was in a sidebar.
That's not what he's on trial for.
Yeah, but it's also in a sidebar, and that's not available to the jury. So it's kind of like they're not hearing this, but it's on the transcript, which is crazy, because it's like they want it striked from the record, but it can't, because it's like
right there.
No,
it's shit like that happens, where it's just kind of like, this will impact their opinion of him. And in order for him to have a fair and just trial, they can't know that he probably had 2 people murdered. And
it's
weird.
There was even like a moment where they had Kid Cudi on the stand, and they were talking to him about things, and it basically came out that Kid Cudi was having a thing with Cassie, but Kid Cudi had no idea that Cassie was still with P. Diddy. But P. Diddy found out, and because he's so angry and such a jealous person, he was just like, I'm going to have him, like, I'm going to go over there and kill him. So he went to his house. He wasn't home, like, what's his name?
Cudi.
Kid Cudi was not at his house. And then, like, he found out that P. Diddy was at his house. And so he, like, stormed over to his house, and he was just kind of like, where's he at? Where's he at? Blah, blah, blah. When he finally got to the property, nothing was touched. It happened around December, and all they did was open all of the presents that were under the tree. That's all they did. And then apparently, like, they locked his dog in the bathroom, and ever since that moment, the dog hasn't been the same, which is weird. Like, the dog got traumatized in all of this too. Jeez. And just like a bunch of gifts were open.
That is so upsetting.
Yeah.
He's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah. And then there was also a moment where Kid Cudi had his car
set on fire. Yeah.
And there was this, and then Kid Cudi found fingerprints or whatever, and then he had them sent to the fire department people that like figure all of that stuff out, like who started a fire and stuff. And the fingerprints magically disappeared. I
got a little final update, and we'll leave it at this. And this is from thedailymail.co.uk. And it just came up, but this is from today's trial date.
Okay.
Mystery rapper at the center of court chaos on Thursday. Diddy's lawyers on Thursday morning spoke about an event in January 2024 involving Jane in a hotel room in Vegas, and how it was important that they be able to use some names that they are prohibited from doing by the anonymity order around the witness. Doing so would allow members of the public to come forward if they had information that might help the case. Agnifilo, I don't know that name, said that using the name was important. Basically, it said no. The judge agreed and said he wouldn't modify the order to allow the names from this episode to be used. The judge said that this was a collateral issue and not related to sex trafficking charges. But once she was back on the stand, Jane explained that in January of 2024, she traveled to Vegas with a famous rapper and his girlfriend on a private plane. Jane said she saw Anton, one of the male escorts, having sex with someone while the rapper and his girlfriend watched. So now there is a mystery rapper that I believe they wanted to bring forward, who's involved in this, and they're a very famous rapper.
Oh shit.
It sounds like they want to bring names into this.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's Jay-Z.
I'm gonna guess it's Jay-Z. Yeah.
It says girlfriend though. Beyonce's his wife.
It was in
Oh.
2024. Yeah, they were still together.
Yeah.
But he was cheating on her a lot.
Oh,
That's what-
yeah, true.
Is that what you think? I'm not gonna say anything bad about Jay-Z.
Allegedly, he was cheating on her, I guess.
I like
cheated on her
I
a
like
bunch.
life. I like life.
She made a song about it.
Yeah, dude.
A whole album, actually.
Yeah.
Lemonade.
Yeah.
Is that what that is about?
Yeah, the whole album is about him cheating, I think.
All right, guys. I think I need to start doing some research. Okay, clearly I don't understand what the world is. But that's crazy to me because now it sounds like they're trying to push real names out of this. And
Mhm.
even though there's a Jane Doe order and all these things, I think we're going to start seeing some names pop up.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to start going a little crazy in some of these things. I think if it leans one way or the other, if it leans towards P. Diddy's side, I think the Jane Doe might speak out maybe.
Mm.
I think if it goes the other way and it goes towards the prosecutor side, I think P. Diddy might have a crash out then.
Yeah.
He might just start outing people on his own.
You know whose name gets brought up a lot?
Ashton Kutcher.
No.
Well,
Okay, why?
Wait,
why
is
was
he
that?
involved?
Yeah, why?
you didn't know?
In
what?
In this stuff right now?
He hung out with P. Diddy all the time.
Oh, but is it happening now?
No.
Is this involved? Okay. Michael B. Jordan.
I heard that too.
Seriously?
Yeah, but it's all about like how Cassie dated him
Oh.
afterwards, and P. Diddy was super jealous.
Yeah, because Michael Jordan's like way better than him.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael Jordan's a basketball player.
Yeah, you're right.
And he's just so cool.
Yeah.
He's got the coolest shoes.
Yeah.
I'll go. But Michael B. Jordan,
Killmonger, man.
hottest man alive.
That's
Alive?
Killmonger.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I don't know about live. But
He is hot.
He's Killmonger, dude.
Who?
Killmonger.
No, he's Creed.
He is.
Actually, he's Chronicle.
He's also Sinners.
Oh, he was in Sinners?
He was great. He was in
Dude,
it
what do you
twice.
mean?
I didn't fucking see the movie.
If you even look at a poster, he's right there.
He's
Oh
in
my
it
god!
twice.
I haven't even acknowledged that the existence of it. But I've
Yeah, he's
acknowledged
in it twice.
But I've
Yeah.
acknowledged my tribal chief.
Fair.
Okay.
This was James.
Just gonna end it like that.
Oh, sorry. I thought that you guys were hinting at getting up.
No, actually,
No, I was just adjusting.
I think that because the prosecution might not have as much as they would like, they're probably going to really put a lot of pressure in. Let's get these names.
Yeah.
Let's get these famous names because they're the ones that are really crack this whole thing wide open
Yeah.
and bury the son of a bitch.
Well, I think that they recognize now that the defense is going to tear down any testimony that's willing to come up,
Mhm.
but having someone with notoriety,
Mhm.
fame, anything that has a little bit more weight to it than just
Mhm.
maybe, it sounds so bad, but maybe to say it this way, but more than just an ex-girlfriend,
yeah.
I think it'll have a lot more weight to it
Mhm.
because it'll sway public opinion. Public opinion is going to matter in this a lot.
In this moment, I think public opinion is very much against him.
Yeah, there's no
But-
way. Who is siding with him?
Yeah,
Like,
but
I want to meet that moron.
I think the evidence so far, it's not looking great.
Ooh, just a thought, real quick. I know we're trying to get off the air because we're over.
Yeah.
But real quick, just a thought. Okay, as I mentioned, that rapper that's mentioned in this and his girlfriend, they were watching.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think that they're trying to introduce his network of co-conspirators then? Because again, this is a RICO case, and normally it's used for a bigger, wide range of network of illegal businesses, like I mentioned. Do you guys think that maybe they're slowly trying to introduce the rest of his network involved in his RICO case?
yeah, for sure, because they are charging him with racketeering.
Exactly.
You know,
Mhm.
and because I think even his lawyer had to basically say, we're not saying he's a good man.
Yeah.
We're not saying
That's
that.
how they started.
Yes, they're just like, we are not saying he is a good man.
Yeah.
We're just saying he got money for us.
We're just
Is
saying
he a mastermind criminal?
Yeah.
No, that's what their defense is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but like, yeah,
Here's the thing though.
Yeah.
It's in that sentence that's a little weird. Is he a mastermind criminal? It's almost like they're trying to say like he's not the top.
yeah. Oh,
That's
like,
fair. Yeah.
They might be hinting at that. Yeah, this happened. All of
Yeah.
these things you're gonna say happen.
Yeah.
However, he is not the mastermind of all
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they're gonna end up trying to paint if it keeps going against P. Diddy.
From what I'm gathering, I think they know he's gonna go down for it, but they're just trying to like have it so that he doesn't lose everything.
yeah.
Because his whole thing is like he can lose his entire house, he can lose like his record label, he can lose his car and stuff if they find that it was involved in the case. Like say he used his car to drive to this location where it all happened. he can lose that car because of it.
Yeah.
Like anything that he used in order to get whatever was happening, if he could just prove that all of these things weren't used, he gets to keep it. So I feel like they know he's going to go down, but they're just going to try to save him as much money as he can in like a way.
Probably.
Like he can still save like his assets and stuff.
Here's the thing, though. The consequences of all the charges that are going against him is life in prison.
Oh, fuck. Never mind.
That's why
Oh.
I hear what you're saying.
Unless he wants to save it for like his kids so that his
you
kids
think
have
this
something.
monster wants to care about like the well-being of other people?
Listen, he's an egomaniac.
Allegedly
If he
Monty.
sees his children as just extensions of himself, then yeah.
Okay, then that's fair.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to go with this.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to take weeks for this entire trial to finish, and we tried so hard to just wait until the very end of this.
Yeah, but we're going to be waiting a while.
Yeah, we've been waiting a while.
It's
We
a
could've
2-month trial,
Yeah.
How many weeks are we in? Like 5 now?
something like that.
So it's almost halfway. Something like that.
Let's see how it ends, guys. But you know what? We'll keep you guys updated when we come back. But I think next week when we come back, I think we need to cheer up the mood. We've been doing a little bit of we've been a little hard on you guys
Yeah.
about these things. We've been trying to educate y'all.
I'll come up with a stupid ass game.
I have a stupid ass game.
What is it?
Uno.
Oh, that's a goated game.
You guys want to play Risk on the episode on the
No.
next week?
That
we
sounds
don't.
like the
we don't. We
worst.
can just. Oh, you think the listeners would be down for some yap and gaming? So we're just gaming, and they just hear us playing, and then they hear all the racial slurs you say to me while you beat my ass in Risk.
This has never been said ever, so I don't know what you're talking about, but this has been Alex.
This has been Patrick.
And this has been James, the victim of Alex's tantrums. Anyways, follow us on TikTok at Dynamic Trio Pod, and you can email us at dynamictriopod@gmail.com. You can always send us your relationship questions because we are here to solve your problems, by the way. Has nothing to do with this episode, but we just want to remind you.
say what?
I got a plug.
Yeah.
Oh, and follow Stephanie Sue for this the case updates because
Yeah.
she is
She's
killing
doing
it.
such great work. She's straight up reading the manuscripts. Transcripts. Is that the same thing?
No.
What's manuscripts?
Manuscript is a novel.
She's reading the transcripts, and you know what? It's really good. It's really, really good.
She is doing phenomenal work. She's doing much more than we could ever do. So
100%. She's in it.
And
Yeah,
that's a
exactly.
dynamic guarantee. She's better than us.
Yep.
I love her. Have I said that before?
All right, guys. See you next week.
Peace out, Biss.
Biz.
That's her thing.
Oh.